Good morning, beloveds. Welcome to Awakening Ways Spiritual Community. I'm Dr. Frank Zamalin. Dr. Terry and I want to welcome you. You know, Awakening Ways is an amazing spiritual community. It's a wonderful spiritual community. I wish Terry and I could say that we're responsible for having created it, but we aren't. It created itself. It's this wonderful community that has its roots in the New Thought teachings of Ernest Holmes, a teaching that believes there's a golden thread of truth and love that winds its way through all great spiritual traditions. And that thread is a thread of love and a thread of wisdom. It's the deep mystical tradition that is in all traditions that says that you can find within yourself that one divine mind that is the only mind. And another divine mind. Here at Awakening Ways, we feel like it's our responsibility to help you to develop your own connection to that divinity within you, knowing that there is so many different paths to awaken to it. And we try to do that through wonderful Sunday talks like this morning with Dr. Jan Morgan, Dr. Jan Lindbergh Morgan, and with classes, with meditations, with one-to-one prayer work and counseling. In so many ways, we try to help you. And of course, more than anything, we are a community that believes in the power of prayer. And so we're always available to do prayer work for you and with you. You know, we all come to this place in our own unique way, by the unique path that we have set our feet upon. Some of that comes out of our family upbringing, and much of it just comes from that deep place within us where we are connected to spirit. Whatever your path may have been that brought you through these doors, and wherever you go when you leave here, for right now, for this sacred moment, welcome home. We've been waiting for you. With us this morning is Dr. Jan. Dr. Jan and Terry and I have been friends for a very long time. We were ministerial students together along with Art and Patty Scott. And we always enjoy having Jan here because she has such wonderful stories about herself and about life, and is so deeply meaningful in the way she understands it. So it's a joy to have her with us this morning. And so before we move into that, let's first join together in that consciousness of truth that opens our hearts and our souls to that message of love. Let's close our eyes and know that there is one divine source, one divine mind, one infinite source of love, infinite source of wisdom, infinite source of all life. That source, by whatever name we call it, is God. It is within each of us, within each living, sentient being, for it is the nature of life itself. God in us, as us, is that life that we are. I know that that is my truth. I know that that is true for each and every one of us and for all sentient beings. And I know that today, this day, Spirit in us all awakens us even more than we have been as we are lifted by Dr. Jen speaking that pure voice of spirit as she opens herself to it, by Jimmy and the other musicians and singers as they bring us that divine harmony of the universe, and by the energy of all of us together. Separate though we may be, we are connected in spirit right here and right now. For that, I am so grateful. For here and now, we are one. And in that one, we are raised into the higher realms of understanding. I know that it is so. I know that it is true. And so I say, and so it is. Amen.
With the faith that we can do this, we can help each other through this by the grace of our humanity, with a song meant to inspire, we can lift each other higher by the grace of our humanity. And though we can't hold hands, we can touch the hearts of others, our sisters and our brothers. And so I'll take this vow and sing it. If it's love you want, I'll bring it by the grace of our humanity. Though we can't hold hands, we can touch the hearts of others, our sisters and our brothers. And so when through compassion flowers, you will know we have the power by the grace of our humanity, by the grace of our humanity.
It brings tears to my eyes to see the faces that I'm seeing on this Zoom call. My heart goes out. You know who you are. We've touched hearts and touched lives in the past, and you're all very precious to me. And may something that I say today find a place in your heart, that it may go with you. My talks ordinarily title themselves. I think I know what I'm going to talk on, and then it tells me, no, this is what you're going to do. And the title of my talk today is Harmony and Diversity. Why? Well, I guess we'll get there, because I wasn't sure why. So what is harmony? Is harmony the same as peace? I think harmony is a step beyond peace. Peace is the absence of war and hostility, freedom from discord and disagreement, and coexisting without friction. But harmony goes a step further. It finds a way to coexist and interact, supporting each other's individuality, but honoring each individuality. We can live peacefully side by side without any interaction, but harmoniously we get along, and we don't have to agree. I am a singer. I sing with a chorus named Kindred Spirits. I'm reminded of our rehearsals when the sopranos will practice their part, and then the altos and the second altos. And when you hear the alto and second alto parts, you kind of wonder if it's the same piece of music that you're singing, the soprano. And it sounds like another song, a different song. Not even the words are almost the same because they come in at different places. But when it's all put together, it's this beautiful harmony of a completed work. If you want to be more dramatic than that, think about an orchestra. Have you been to a concert where the orchestra is warming up and the drums are going and the pianos are going and the horns have their time and the strings are, and it's like, oh my goodness. And then the conductor brings everything to order and you have this beautiful, harmonious symphony. They don't try and change each other. The drummer doesn't try and tell the pianist, you're supposed to play like this, or the strings try and make the horns sound like them. They are each very clear who they are, but together they make a beautiful whole. You know, we're hearing a lot this last year of the word diversity. So I decided to look it up. And you know what the little old Webster's book says diversity means? Various, a variety of differences. I went on Google, and I think you know what I'm talking about when you Google a word. Everything from variety to non-white. Hello. That didn't seem to fit for me. So I will stick with good old Webster. Diversity doesn't mean right or wrong, or better than or less than. It simply means a variety of differences. And in my life, one of the best examples of harmony and diversity that I can think of are some people who are friends of mine and also friends of the Zamolans, Doctors Abigail and Stephen Albert. They are, in my mind, the epitome, the beginning of diversity. I've known these people since 2004, but in 2010, when we attended a conference with the Dalai Lama as the keynote speaker, we had a medical emergency, which ended up in the ER. And Steve and Abigail recommended a medical practitioner in Poway whose skill they'd experienced. They not only facilitated our appointment, but then they opened their home to us on several occasions, making what could have been a very costly undertaking much more affordable. These are people who walk their talk, the ones who leave an indelible impression on us. They moved to San Diego in 2003 and established what was to become the All Faith Center. And in 2004, they responded to a news article request for help with the Baha'i World Religion Day. And this began their journey into the interfaith movement. In 2006, the group decided to combat fear through education by sharing their faiths. And the Poway Interfaith Team, Point, was formed. It started with the Interfaith Summer Nights, weekly meetings where each organization shared their philosophy and teachings of their faith. It blossomed into interfaith dialogues, then interfaith services that were held at the Albert's Faith Center. Point and other local, state, and worldwide interfaith events called them, and they withdrew from weekly ministering. And in 2014, they built a labyrinth in their beautiful backyard and invited all the faiths to come and be there for the opening. And people from 17 different religious groups bringing rocks inscribed with sacred words to extend the labyrinth came to celebrate with them. And that labyrinth now is open to people of all faiths, creeds, colors, gender, nationality, whatever the diversity. With Point, they are actively involved year-round, bringing issues of racism, social justice, education, and other topics to public attention. Recently, a year or so ago, the Shabbat of Poway was attacked by a 19-year-old man who killed one woman, injured the rabbi, and several others. And Point helped coordinate the prayer vigils, and they stood vigil around the synagogue the next day when the first service was held, to let the people inside know that they were supported in their right to pray. The Point clergy have spoken when the mosque was almost burned down, and have been asked to be at quite a few press conferences that pertain to areas of religious discussion. Dr. Abigail has spoken at the Parliament of World Religions at least 3 times, and Steve has been the president of Point, has spearheaded the Vision for Interfaith Awareness Week. He literally was the founder of that, and it's held throughout San Diego County and the state of California. And he also creates websites for international interfaith groups. So in response to my question to them, what motivates your decisions? These were the words that Abigail spoke to me. Our motivation to pursue interfaith work is the people and the belief that we are all one in this world, are meant to know each other, accept one another, love one another, and get along. We believe this part of God's divine plan. We have met so many wonderful, loving, caring people of all faiths, ethnicities, etc., who only want to bring peace and harmony among people. We are friends with Muslims, Baha'is, Jews, Hindus, Buddhists, Unitarian Universalists, Mormons, Catholics, Protestants, Unification, Jains, Native Americans, Sikhs, Wicca, as well as all of our New Thought friends. As we work, play, and eat together, we share so many commonalities and know the core of all faiths is love. How we worship the God of our understanding is individual. Dr. Steve is a well-known New Thought author, and he has just brought out another book called A Rainbow for the World, which is co-edited with 20 other people representing 20 other religious organizations. So this book has 21 people of different beliefs, different denominations, whatever word we want to give that. And I think that's incredible. I don't know about you, but I think just the idea that 21 people can cooperate by writing about their own individual religious beliefs. Isn't that great? I think it is. I'm a little, well, whatever. You know, Steve and Abigail choose to live in harmony. But what characteristics are the antithesis of harmony? Well, I believe that greed is a big one. A belief in lack. I need more. There's not enough to go around. You have more than I have, therefore I am lacking. I need to hoard so I won't be without. It could be food, money, possessions, attention, adulation, me first. It's greed. Now that's different from taking care of ourselves, from filling our own well first so we can give from that source. That's a different thing. This is about grasping, and grasping is greed. How about darkness? not the kind we need for rest and renewal. Despair, desperation that express their darkness through violence and cruelty. Now, this doesn't have to be extreme violence and cruelty. It can manifest as spitefulness, as destructive criticism, as disregard for the comfort and safety of others. You know, there is a saying about someone who walks around with a dark cloud over their heads. How about anger? People who seem to find fault with everything, who focus only on what they perceive as bad, wrong, against what they believe, have that victim consciousness and the need for revenge. Greed, darkness, anger. All of these are aligned with fear. So what are the antidotes? We can choose gratitude over greed, and we can choose our perspective. Gratitude, thank you, and more please. Knowing the universe is unfailing in its abundance. Knowing and affirming how blessed we are. Again, this could be material possessions, loving relationships. Recognizing that when filled with thanks and appreciation, what we focus on increases. See how this attitude softens our hearts, improves our relationships, and spills out into our community and our world. Light over darkness. The master teacher told us, ye are the light of the world. And in the Bible it says, hide not your light under a bushel. You know, New Thought teaches about light. We encourage each other to let our light shine. We recognize the divine light in each other. But it's often easier to see it in someone else than it is to see it in ourselves. Why? Why do we hesitate to shine our light? Is there a particular dimmer switch, an old story that can still keep us hooked? You know, shining our light can be as simple as smiling at a passerby or cheerfully holding a door open for someone else. Or it can be as complex as providing services for the sick or homeless, or serving some other aspect of society. And love is an antidote for anger. When you want to retaliate, but you decide to refrain. You stay calm and detached in the face of hostility. You offer acceptance to one who's not used to it. Acting with clarity and compassion. Love is graciousness in action. In December of 2017, I was rushed to the hospital with an uncontrollable state of atrial fibrillation. And while I was there, I experienced a stroke. Within 20 minutes, an IV of, if I can say this, tissue plasminogen activator was dripping into my arm. The stuff they say, if you can get it within an hour, it can be taken care of. Wednesday night, I was placed in the ICU and I was released on Saturday. Before I was released, a radiologist did a final MRI, and he said to me, if I hadn't seen proof of the stroke, I wouldn't believe that you had a stroke. There's no evidence of it now. This had been the culmination of 5 very emotionally stressful and physically stressful years. And my heart literally was broken. It could no longer function effectively on its own. My heart had reached out for help when my mind couldn't do that. And the woman that left the hospital was not the one who was admitted. There was a lightness about my being when I left the hospital. I felt different. I knew that something imperceptible had shifted in me. I couldn't describe it, but I perceived myself differently. I was in this world, but not of it. Questioning the messages that I'd internalized all my life. I called that stuff that they IV'd into me Drano for the brain, because clearly it had done something more than the medical people expected. I went into a place of being very introspective. I examined all of the judgmental comments from childhood through my senior years. And I recognized that I had come to peace with them, but I was not living in harmony with them. I hadn't extrapolated the stuff that was of value, that I could find value in, like the child looking for the pony in the pile of poop. And I had not discarded what was not pertinent. And frankly, most of it wasn't pertinent. And out of that experience came my I am affirmation. That's what I call it. I know who I am. I am a beloved child of the divine, a unique creation of the one creator, an essential aspect of the universe. I am a being of light. And I know that that which is true for me is true for all beings. I added the one line because of another person's observation. I was in conversation with a group of like-minded people, and we were talking about our personal affirmations and so forth. And the one person looked at me and said, "You do know, Jan, that you're a being of light." And okay. And so that was difficult for me to wrap my head around. And so I inserted it into my affirmation. And now when I sit in prayer and meditation, I am a member of the soul support team and among other prayer groups, I start with my affirmation. It sets the stage for my prayer treatments for others, because then I can affirm who they are. They are beloved, unique, essential beings of light. And I can move into my prayer work, holding them in that space. And I really clearly believe, that out of that experience in the hospital came for me a clarity about my identity that I could not have had any other way. So, what is chaos? Chaos is greed, darkness, anger, which are all equated with fear. And what is harmony? Gratitude, light, compassion, empathy, all equating with love. So how can we train our minds to choose harmony? Well, in the times when elephants walked through towns in India with their keepers, the townspeople would dread the parade of elephants because the curious trunk was always searching for things on either side of the walk. It had a natural tendency to explore, and it would disrupt the vendors' carts on the streets. It had no qualms about helping itself to fruits on one side of the street, while the back end of it was creating chaos on the other side, leaving a broken mess in its wake. The wise keepers offered a shaft of bamboo for fidgety trunks to hold. And the elephant would hold the bamboo as if it were a precious object. And now, with total focus and purpose, it would walk through the city with great dignity and poise. I love that feeling of we are much like those elephants. Without focus, our thoughts will wander off, grasping anything that catches its attention. But with focus, there is so much we can accomplish. An affirmation is a wonderful piece of bamboo for the mind. It will center and calm it. And when your attention is on divinity and peace within, the surrounding distractions lose their appeal. So are you one who has challenges creating affirmations? You know, I've spoken to you in the past and mentioned how over 40 years ago, Wayne Dyer's Your Erroneous Zones changed the direction of my life, and how impactful Pam Grout's Thank and Grow Rich has been for me. Well, I just found another treasure, which for me is up there with Erroneous Zones and Thanks and Grow Rich. A little book called The Divine Flow of Abundance by your own practitioner, Jan Lynch. It is beautifully written. It gets straight to the point, and it's designed to be read over a 30-day period. When I came to the end of the 30 days, I missed it so much, I went back to the beginning. I have known Jan Lynch since 1991, before our Awakening Ways days. And I am so proud of her and so impressed with this beautiful piece of wisdom that she has made available. I challenge you to read this book and not come to the end with a clearer, more loving perspective of yourself and your divinity, with an abundance of affirmations to use in your life. You know, in this past year of 2020, the word diversity has taken on multiple meanings. As I said, one of the ones I found online was non-white, which it's also diverse to be white. The world is in a state of disequilibrium. And we cannot unlearn what this year has taught us, and we are still learning, and we still need to grow, and we still need to evolve to a higher place. But the truth is, there is no place where God is not. We are immersed in it. Our very lives are intricately woven into it. When we accept at the very core of our beings that we are the beloveds of the Most High, that we are loved, and that we are love. When enough of us can hold this consciousness for humanity as a whole, only then will a world of harmony and light, a world that works for everyone, become a reality. May our light so shine in the world that each one who beholds it recognizes the divinity of the one who shines it, the divinity of the one on whom it shines, and the divinity of the beholder. For in truth, all are one. Namaste.
I believe in God, absolute and mighty. God is all there is. Everything is God. I believe the kingdom of heaven is within us. God is all there is. Everything is God. I believe our thoughts affect the world around us. I believe we're all connected to a universal mind. And so it is. I believe the spirits forever and expanding. God is all there is. Everything is God. I believe in goodness. I believe our thoughts affect the world around us. I believe we're all connected to a universal mind. And so it is. I believe the light is precious in its wholeness. God is all there is. Everything is God. We are all connected in unity and spirit. God is all there is. Everything is God. I believe. I believe, I believe, I believe, I believe, I believe. I believe, I believe. I believe. I believe, I believe. I believe. Spirit acts upon our prayers directly.
Namaste. The light and the divine in me honors and greets the light and love the divine in all of you. And I'm so grateful to Jan this morning for sharing that deep, soul-filled message this morning. I don't know how anyone could hear that message and not feel their heart just open and bring in all of that love and all of that wisdom and all of that incredible consciousness that she brought with her this morning, as always. Thank you so much, Jan. Thank you to our musicians, Jimmy, as always, stellar, and our little ensemble, which, we love that when this just amazing music that manages to happen on the Zoom, Steve and Delon and Karen and Trisha. I saw Trisha in there. Thank you so much. We appreciate those beautiful harmonies that you bring. Thank you to each and every one of you who show up here on Sunday and who continue to support us with your tithes and love offerings and help keep the boat afloat as it goes. Things are changing, things are growing and evolving, and yet we continue on with Zoom for the time being, and we appreciate any support that you can offer us. Thank you for that. I did want to let you know that I mentioned this. Somebody mentioned it. I think it was me last week about the, who can remember? I don't know. What did I say 5 minutes ago? I don't know. But that we are planning a class in March and that we would share more information about that class today. And so I want to give you the information and then let you know that there will be an email coming out the beginning of this week, which will have all of this information in it. And when you receive it, if you're interested in taking the class, you can reply to the email when it arrives. But it is a 6-week class. It's based on this book by Eric Butterworth called The Creative Life, 7 Keys. I can't read backwards. 7 Keys to Your Inner Genius. I think it's going to be just a wonderful opportunity for all of us to just in a casual way explore this book and allow it to expand our own lives in a new and wonderful way. It's just a different way of, when you hear something that you've heard maybe 100 times before, but you hear it spoken or written in a different way, things just change. And I think that's what you'll find with this class. It is 6 weeks. It's going to be an hour-and-a-half class from 6 to 7:30 on Tuesdays, beginning March 16th. The class fee is $65. And you can, if you decide to take the class, you can either send in a check to the office or you can pay by PayPal.
Yeah, the link will be up tomorrow for the PayPal.
Okay, the link will be up. It's going to be on the email that comes out.
No, it won't be on the email. It'll be on the website.
Okay, so the PayPal information, that if you want to pay on PayPal, will be on the web page, so you can go there and check that out. I hope you join us. It will be, I think it will be fun, and it will be a new way for us to be together in consciousness. And so Frank and I are looking forward to it. It's been like a long dry spell since we've actually had a class with personal experiences and changes going on for us and everywhere else. So join us, and let's explore this book together. And with that, I want to invite you to join us again next week. I think that I know that I'll be the speaker next week, and so I hope to see you then. And with that, I invite you to join me in a brief benediction, a closing prayer, if you will. So just allow your eyes to softly close. And just notice that you're breathing. Just notice that. And notice how full you feel right now. Your mind has been stimulated. Your heart has been opened. Your soul is dancing a dance. Everything about you is singing in this moment, singing in harmony. What a beautiful, remarkable morning. And so I know that for each and every one of us, that we take this energy, we take this love, we take this peace and harmony that is alive and well within us right here and now. We take this harmony out into our world, and we express it in every way we can think of. And what we notice when we do that is that more and more harmony comes our way, sweetly, effortlessly, and the world takes on a new glow. I give thanks for all of the gifts of this morning, for I know that they just continue to bring more and more gifts to us with each and every day that passes. And so knowing that Spirit has shown up today in such a big way, I give my thanks for all of it. And I know that we are blessed and that we are a blessing. I accept this truth, and so it is. Amen.